Hello, and thank you for your time today. My name is Erwin Daria, and I'm a field CTO at Tintri. Today, we're going to be providing an update on what we've been up to, and we're super excited to share what we have in store for you in 2020. Storage, in many ways, has become commoditized. Well-known vendors have solutions that work, where low latency, data reduction, data protection, and other capabilities are now considered table stakes. We consider technologies that pander to slight differences in these table stakes features to be standard infrastructure. What is not standard is the experience of humans, both those who manage IT and their customers. And at Tintri, we believe this is an opportunity for our customers to choose an experience that provides all of those features that we would consider table stakes, but also with intelligence at the core of what makes it different. And in a market where low latency and speeds and feeds are no longer differentiators, it's infrastructure that is highly autonomous, built to leverage analytical insights that will redefine expectations for the end user experience. So let's discuss some market conditions that are causing this shift from bare bones, fast and cheap storage to intelligent infrastructure. For many enterprises, hybrid cloud architectures are the new norm. But what we sometimes fail to recognize in this new normal is how complicated things have become. For decades, IT teams have been pressed to do more with less, and that's even more true today than it ever was in the past. Technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning offer the promise of untangling this complexity, allowing our highly trained ops teams to focus on making a difference, instead of simply treading water or in many cases getting buried under a mountain of alerts. In part, this is the promise of concepts like AI ops. Enterprises are clamoring for technologies like intelligent infrastructure, but few vendors can actually deliver it. DDN is the world's largest privately held storage company, with over 20 years of AI and HPC leadership and profitable growth, which is a very rare thing in today's marketplace. The executive team at DDN has long seen this growing trend in large enterprises leveraging analytics and AI to empower more accurate and timely business decisions. We've seen similar trends in the automotive industry with autonomous driving vehicles and in healthcare with improved medical diagnoses and improved patient experiences. DDN is invested in developing solutions that help the modern enterprise leverage these analytics and intelligence tools to optimize their internal infrastructures, and this was the main reason DDN sought and acquired Tintri. Tintri is the enterprise division of DDN and has pioneered intelligent infrastructure for over a decade, empowering over 3,000 customers with platforms that enable self-service models like private clouds and utilize real-time analytics and advanced automation to self-optimize, dramatically improving both end-user experiences, but also freeing up operational overhead for our customers to focus on future innovations instead of red lights and mountains of unactionable alerts. We strongly believe, as do many industry analysts, including Gartner, addressing the confluence of these market conditions requires intelligent infrastructure, and DDN and Tintri are among the very few vendors that have been delivering these solutions to market for over a decade. DDN has long been a force in the HPC space, beating out players such as IBM and HP in many of the top scientific, artificial intelligence, machine learning, oil and gas, and other accounts. In fact, based on this leadership, NVIDIA has standardized on DDN's AI Pod platform, demonstrating the market penetration of DDN in the HPC space. Additionally, NVIDIA has chosen to partner with DDN to power their internal infrastructure. As with all technological advances, enterprises are recognizing the benefits of machine learning and artificial intelligence, and are starting to embrace some of the tool sets traditionally deployed in HPC environments as they become more mature and become turnkey ready for the enterprise market. For example, products that focus on data center analytics and leverage deep learning concepts are now creeping into the mainstream, ultimately helping businesses make better decisions. At the core of DDN's decision to invest in Tintri VM Store, IntelliFlash, and Exenta Store was their intention to expand their AI at scale expertise into the enterprise. Tintri provides intelligent infrastructure solutions for small and large enterprises built on robust analytics that drive down operational complexity while driving up performance and self-optimization, whether in support of bare metal architectures or virtualized environments containing VMs, containers, databases, and other business-critical applications. Today's Tintri is comprised of great technology from 3 innovative product families that have come together under a new unified ownership. In the past, each had its own go-to-market model, partners, and ecosystems, which ultimately limited the success of each of the offerings in the marketplace. But one thing each had in common was customers who were passionate about the products and the people who made it possible, a differentiated experience. We've brought the power of these technologies under the Intelligent Infrastructure banner together with a market message of choice and the opportunity to have a different user experience. Tintri also has a great ecosystem of partners who understand the product brands, have customer relationships, practices, expertise in pre and post sales, and this ecosystem is world class with a mix of global and boutique partners who offer us an opportunity to deliver the choice of intelligent infrastructure throughout the marketplace to companies just like yours. You might be asking yourself, okay, what exactly is intelligent infrastructure? Well, when Tintri first introduced its VM Store platform with real time machine learning built in 2011, the intelligent infrastructure category didn't exist. First coined by Gartner in 2019, Gartner defines intelligent infrastructure as programmable infrastructure that leverages advanced data analytics and automation to essentially optimize itself under a wide variety of conditions. Tintri is shipping products today that uniquely meet all requirements of the definition set by Gartner, providing next generation systems ahead of the competitive marketplace. So, why are organizations such as yours choosing to invest in intelligent infrastructure? Well, a common challenge faced by many organizations today is the continued scale and complexity of infrastructure systems. Yet, IT operations budgets and headcounts remain largely unchanged. Further compounding the challenge is the shortage of skilled staff required to manage standard unintelligent infrastructure solutions. Intelligent infrastructure is the key to bridging this gap. This enables businesses to address the IT staffing shortfall through analytics and autonomous operations that enable existing IT staff to focus their efforts on the higher value strategic activities and the innovation necessary for the business to maintain its competitive edge. Every single one of Tintri's thousands of customers has saved considerable time and money by refocusing their human capital away from mundane administrative tasks and towards activities that improve service levels for internal and external customers alike. Some customers have even reduced management and administrative overhead by as much as 95%. These experiences aren't just marketing hype, they're backed by data. As shown in this chart, separate from growth in public cloud adoption, analysts expect organizations to continue deploying more and more infrastructure in private data centers. And there are no signs of slowing down. But again, like I mentioned before, IT budgets are flat, and unemployment rate for skilled IT workers is less than 3%, with tens of thousands of openings unfilled. The availability of qualified personnel to run this infrastructure is extremely limited and very competitive. Yet the gap between infrastructure and skilled human resources is expected to increase over the next several years. And what can enterprises do to address this situation? Rule-based automation and orchestration are certainly integral parts of the solution, but they can only take you part of the way toward closing the skills gap. That's because most standard infrastructure is only partially autonomous at best. It requires considerable human effort to develop policies, rules, and automation scripts, and then runs with only rudimentary intelligence. These scripts are also static, prone to obsolescence in the face of changing requirements, and vary wildly in complexity. Using traditional standard automation and orchestration offers a critical paradox. Since standard infrastructure cannot use real-time analysis to inform its own automation, one of those highly skilled humans has to do it, and because humans are not machines, optimization can only happen as a result of humans responding to a problem. And as we mentioned before, humans suffering under a mountain of alerts and errors is at the core of this problem. Given the lack of skilled IT professionals at any price, it is simply not possible to scale standard infrastructure to meet the demands of the business today, let alone tomorrow. The only way to completely close the skills gap is to move beyond simple automation on standard infrastructure and towards technologies like intelligent infrastructure and AI-driven concepts like AIOps. Intelligent infrastructure offers a different experience in that these intelligent systems apply artificial intelligence, machine learning, along with real-time predictive analytics to optimize their operations, saving time and improving productivity while maintaining those critical service levels. Intelligent infrastructure is the only suitable foundation for artificial intelligence for IT operations, and an incredibly important piece to closing this skills gap. There's no denying that most enterprise data centers are incredibly complex. Layer upon layer of management and monitoring utilities result in nothing but complexity, which inhibits both visibility and action, not to mention requiring substantial investments in IT skills training. As sprawl and complexity were hallmarks of the previous decade, technologies like intelligent infrastructure and AI ops are expected to help clean up the mess this decade. You can count on intelligent infrastructure to remove a great deal of this complexity. Tintri VM Store, for example, is a cornerstone technology for concepts like AI ops. It begins by natively supporting data constructs like virtual machines and databases, instead of standard infrastructure constructs like LUNs or volumes. It then integrates with the ecosystem to perform real-time analysis and optimization against those objects. The result is infrastructure that responds in real time to any application, any use case, with zero human intervention required. And we're very excited to build on these capabilities with IntelliFlash and AccentaStore, and to extend these concepts to objects like high-performance block devices, unstructured data volumes, as well as persistent container volumes. So as organizations adopt intelligent infrastructure as a means to gain efficiency and redefine both the administrative and the end user experience, let's walk through some of the key value points. First up, agility. Intelligent infrastructure is dynamic, responding to conditions in real time to ensure that the end user experience is predictable, without administrators having to babysit it. Next, certainty. Certainty means getting the right performance when the application demands it, no more, no less, and immediate. Self-service. For Tintri, self-service means two things. First, infrastructure should be self-optimizing. And second, the intelligent nature of the infrastructure and the simplified user interfaces mean that you don't need to have a storage PhD to operate them. Next, we have insights. As the old saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. Tintri's suite of infrastructure systems collect and report telemetry at the right granularity, whether that's VMs, databases, block devices, containers, or files. This data awareness means that our AI-derived application insights are the most accurate in the market. Then we have access. Multi-protocol support, a suite of plugins, and a comprehensive API mean that Tintri has a solution for your team no matter how they choose to use it. And lastly, control. Tintri's philosophy is that storage objects should be recognized for what they are. That's why, when you want to replicate or snapshot a VM or a database, those objects are clearly identified within the Tintri ecosystem, giving you granular control at the right level.